Give them a shot to do what?
What is going on, everybody? This is Mike Hughes, and you are listening to the Shy Kid Podcast, brought to you by the Give Us a Shot Network. If you haven't already, make sure you tap in with the Give Us a Shot Network on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all social media platforms where you can get your nearest podcast and amazing content. Now, I'm just super excited to really break down what we're going to be talking about today. We have so much going on, from opening day for the Craig Council and the Chicago Cubs, which was an absolute heartbreaker, all the way till Caleb Williams clapping back at Chicago media and social media as a whole, because it became a viral uproar of Caleb Williams and his pink cell phone, which we talked about on episode 1. I mean, the baddest QB in the game, can't even get away from it. The lip gloss, all the painted nails, all of it. I'm here for it. I don't know if you guys are, but let's get into it, man. Let's have a real conversation today. Let's break it down. Let's unpack it. Let's talk to ourselves about and convince ourselves that this could be the coolest quarterback in the entire league. Caleb Williams and his dad were obviously just training, hanging out, when his dad takes out his cell phone and he has a conversation, simple conversation. Here's how it went. Caleb Williams claps back at Chicago and national media.
It's been a long week for you. Lucky you got me, though. Let's see what that phone looks. What the phone looks like? Let's see what color the phone.
Wallet white.
The wallet's white.
Phone is pink. Case is clear.
What the fuck is that?
Nails are clear. Lips are pink. Your girl loves them.
And your girl love him. Talk to him, quarterback. Talk to him, QB1. Come on, baby. That's my quarterback right there. That is my quarterback. I don't care what anybody says, whether you like Caleb or you hate him, whatever the situation may be. I think you have to understand the overall ego, or I guess the way you could say he carries himself is 10 out of 10. I am not worried about Caleb Williams and the national media whatsoever. I believe he has a great head on his shoulders. I'm excited to see what could potentially be in store for him moving forward. You know, there's definitely levels to this. But I'll tell you what today. He said your girl loves him. And that's my QB1, baby. That is my guy right there. That is the perfect response. I understand. Listen, there are so many Bears fans talking about Caleb Williams. Oh, you can't draft him. You can't draft him. He paints his nails. He has a pink phone. As if Dennis Rodman didn't carry 90s Bulls basketball alongside Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Adam Rank went on record and said that, and I heard several other people on all different platforms kind of bring that up. And it's a great point. Like, the problem for me is, like, you can't pick and choose when you love it and when you hate it. You know what I mean? And it's like, for me at this point in time, you understand what Caleb could potentially mean for the Chicago Bears organization. Period. I mean, Caleb could be the next big thing. Go down as a top 5, top 10 Chicago Bear of all time if he pans out into who we know he could potentially be with the supporting cast that he has. The expectations are higher than ever. And of course, with expectations comes realistic opinions. Like, okay, well, you can't struggle because Justin Fields struggled and he had nothing. You have everything, so you have no right to struggle. You know what I mean? That's kind of like how they're putting it. You know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Caleb Williams, but I love his attitude right now. I absolutely love it. And I understand there's two sides to every coin. There's probably going to be times where I don't love Caleb Williams' attitude. After a hard loss, if he gives that same kind of opinion that we've heard from him vocally at USC, it's going to piss you off. You know what I mean? But it's cool, man. I'm rocking with it. Listen, it's 2024. Dennis Rodman led the 90s in the way he dressed in his fashion. No one had a problem with it then. So my guy has a pink phone case, and we're killing him for it. Like, I don't understand. I really do not understand. And really quick, I do want to give a shout out really quick to Michael Powers doing his thing right now in LA. He said, Lego. Otani, get the under. Mike's got the under. 100%. And after the way I saw Otani running the bases the other day, trying to get to third base, I think he had the under as well. I don't know if y'all saw that video, but it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But man, I'm with it. I'm down. Like, if Caleb Williams wants to paint his fingernails, if Caleb Williams wants to write F Green Bay alongside all four index fingers, like, I have no problem whatsoever with that. And if you have a problem with it, I think you have a lot going on in your life emotionally. I think you have a lot to figure out. I think it's very insecure. I'll pull up to whatever event I need to pull up in whatever the dress code is. I really don't mind anything. You know what I mean? Now, am I going out of my way to wear, lip gloss or paint my fingernails? No. You know what I mean? But like, cut from a different cloth, man. You know what I mean? Like, we're just from different places. So I have no problem with this whatsoever. I loved the response. Your girl loves him. Facts. And tell me right now, Caleb Williams, worth millions of dollars, walks up to your girl today, tells her to walk off with him. What do you think's going to happen 9 times out of 10? Unless you have a gem. Unless your girl is a gem. Unless your girl is a wife. You know what I mean? Like, period. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, he's valid. He's right. Making millions of dollars for the brand that he's created. And you're just at home shitty about it. What are we talking about? So I loved it, man. That was really quick. We just want to address the Caleb Williams comments. That's QB1. That's QB1. I love the comments. Now, it is what it is at the end of the day. If you're still over the Justin Fields stuff or you're still not over it, at this point in time, March 29, 2024, I don't know what to tell you. All I could say is Caleb Williams is on his way to Chicago, and you got to give him a shot. You like that? Come on, stop playing with me. But no, man, let's get into opening night. Opening night, ring ceremony, Texas. The Chicago Cubs and Craig Counsell, in his first game as manager of the Chicago Cubs, his first meaningful game, lose in extra innings to the Texas Rangers 4-3 in a walk-off fashion. It's unfortunate it went down the way it did. I felt like the entire game we were in it from start to finish. I really did. I never at one point thought we're not going to do this. I never at one point was like, okay, look, we just got to, eat our licks and then walk off with our tail underneath our legs. It is what it is. I never felt that way. For me, I felt like we were in this game the entire time. We were competitive. We went after them. We attacked. And honestly, we were great. You look at the box score. I want to start off with the conversation that we had yesterday. Ian Happ leading off for the Chicago Cubs. I said, he batted 160 in spring training. He had a 392 OPS. Coming off a year, you won another Gold Glove in left field, and you hit 21 home runs and 84 RBIs. That's great. 14 stolen bases, but he doesn't scream traditional leadoff to me, and that was my huge concern going into this. Yeah, he's a switch hitter. That's cool, but if you're not great at hitting on either side, are you really a switch hitter? You know what I mean? Like, that's what it comes down to for me at the end of the day. So, I don't know. I don't know at all. I don't know how to view it. I don't know the conversations we should be having about it at this very point in time. I'm excited about it nonetheless, what the Cubs roster could and lineup could potentially look like throughout the year. My my big thing right now is, Ian Happ, first game leading off. Craig Counsell's, testing out the waters. He's a switch hitter. He's athletic. He's great at reading the ball. He's great at taking his walks. He led the league in walks last year. Or no, pardon me. He led the Cubs in walks last year. Okay, cool. He goes 0 for 4. Gets walked once, but he goes 0 for 4. You know what I mean? And that's such a crucial thing, especially when you have Nico Horner, who in 2 at-bats, you saw what he was able to do. And it's like, okay, yeah, he only got walked once, but you also put him at the 7th hole. You know what I mean? And he's not traditionally used to that. So I wasn't a huge fan of it, but let's recap the game, man. Christopher Morel starts off the game hot. I'm talking a triple that was almost a nuke, and we're going to get into his almost nuke grand slam to win the game that he would have had later in the stretch. But Morel starts the game at the top of the second with a triple. Obviously, you see then Swanson with a sacrifice fly. He makes it 1-0 Cubs. You look at that and you go, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Evaldi is one of those guys where, you kind of just got to take it for what it is. And you understand Evaldi is definitely one of those guys that you can attack very early on. And kind of like when I was watching the Mets Brewers game a little while ago. I was like, you know what? You got to attack a guy like Jose Quintana very early. He's got the lowest home run rate per 9 innings in the entire league for over the last 2 years. But you can attack him in other different ways. And I felt the same way with Evaldi. And I don't know. I think the Cubs really were able to get after him, do what they needed to do in the instances where he was available. But immediately after, bottom of the 4th, Wyatt Langford making his MLB debut in Texas on ring ceremony night. I mean, opening day was beautiful for Wyatt Langford. He has a sacrifice fly that makes it 1-1. Justin Steele on the mound. The Mississippi fastball was zipping. The Man of Steel was picking up right where he left off. 4.2 innings pitched, 6 Ks, 7 straight consecutive outs. I mean, it was great to see what he was able to do. Unfortunately, trying to pick up a grounder, throwing to first, he pulls his left hamstring. He leaves the game with left hamstring tightness. Craig Counsell, after the game, announced that he will have an MRI Friday morning, presumably, and that is right now. We haven't heard anything about it yet. The unfortunate circumstance of losing Justin Steele in that game was for me devastating. You know what I mean? Like, right now, we're not sure the longevity of it. Is it going to be a 60-day IL? Is it going to be a 15-day IL? I've heard other people say he can potentially come back at some point in the middle of April. But we haven't officially heard anything from the Chicago Cubs. So it was at that point I felt like, we're in the 5th, and I'm like, man, that might be it. Bottom 5th, it's a 1-1 game. It felt like we were in it the entire game because of Justin Steele. And the second they bring Julian Merriweather Jr., who had a great outing. He had a great outing to finish off the 5th, going into the 6th. Cody Bellinger in the top of the 6th. He has an RBI double to bring in Seiya Suzuki, making it 2-1. We're on top again. You're starting to feel a lot more confident. And then Adolis Garcia, absolute no doubter against Yency Almonte. I literally, no TMI, but I went to the bathroom really quick. I was like, I gotta pee. So I ran to the bathroom, and all I hear is, and I knew as soon as I heard the sound, it was gone. And I didn't know it was Garcia, but I knew it was gone. I knew it was Almonte on the mound, and we got him obviously in the Michael Busch deal for Jackson Ferris and Hope. Almonte is an interesting one to me. I'm not giving up on him quite yet. If you look at it statistically, it's every other year he's an elite reliever, and then that other year he's one of the worst in the league. So you take it for what it is. We'll see what happens. He had a really strong spring, and I'm really hoping he continues to bounce back. And it's Garcia. It's Adolis Garcia. I'm not mad about it. It's not like you gave it up to the worst kid in the league, who we're about to talk about in a little bit. But let's talk about the no-call foul ball by Miles Mastrobuoni. Obviously, Heim believed that it was a foul ball. The umpire didn't see it, so it becomes a wild pitch. Here comes Michael Busch, who, by the way, in this game, Michael Busch, in his first game as a Chicago Cub, absolutely phenomenal. In 2 at-bats, he had 1 run on the wild pitch, 1 hit and 2 walks. Michael Busch was doing his thing. He was at first base the majority of the night. I loved seeing that. it's exciting. It's exciting time. Michael Bush is really looking great at the big league level. And I'm just really pumped to be able to see how he's going to finish off the 2024 season. Rookie of the Year candidate, maybe. I don't know if I think he's up for that award because he didn't get enough playing time in LA in his small stints that he did come up. So that made it 3-2, top of the ninth. And then, here comes Adbert Alzolay. Play the damn song. I was excited. I was ready. This is bottom nine. It's 3-2. And then here comes Jankowski, pitch hitting, who hit 1 home run in the 2023 season. Here he comes. Gone. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, off of Adbert, out of everybody Adbert has been one of the most consistent guys over the last 365 days for the Chicago Cubs. He was one of their best closers of last year. And I'm confident in him moving forward that he will still be a great closer. But I mean, he ties up the game. It's 3-3. You're going in the extra innings and you're just distraught because you know what's coming next. Top of the 10th, you go in and you understand what's about to happen. And Christopher Morel, who, by the way, they walked Cody Bellinger to get to Christopher Morel, who had a double and a triple in this game already. I thought was a huge mistake. Bases are loaded. It's 3-3, top of the 10th. Here comes Christopher Morel. Wow, a huge nuke. I mean, it's this close from being a fair ball, being a walk-off grand slam, damn near. Not a walk-off, but you know what I'm saying. A game-winning grand slam. Man, I mean, I needed that. I needed that for so many reasons. One, because I said at the beginning of the year, Christopher Morel is going to be a top 3 or a top 10 first baseman and an all-star. But also because I had a couple parlays mixed in with a Cubs win. I had literally everything hit. I had the Pirates game. I had I had the Pirates game. I had everything you can imagine, every single game right. And then I had Seiya Suzuki and Corey Seager for a hit and a Cubs win. We were this close from $200, and it would have been all because of Christopher Morel. So I appreciate you, Chris, for trying. But Miles Mastrobuoni with a great throw in the bottom of the 10th. He gets the runner at the plate. Loved that. A defensive substitution, taking out Nick Madrigal, who didn't have a great game, but wasn't bad either. Nicky had a great hit. I will say Nicky had a great hit that I thought was going to be a foul ball and ended up being a screamer on the right-hand side. But with that being said, and not even to get off that, let's talk about that for a second. If that ball would have stayed in the yard, I think you're having a different conversation. Excuse me. It goes over the wall, obviously. But here comes Heim. Bottom 10th. Drew Smyly grabs his glove and walks out, and I knew immediately it was game. Respectfully. To be completely honest, Drew Smyly only made this opening day roster, or this roster in general, because we lack lefties. And now with Justin Steele out, that probably bumps him up to a starter. I doubt they bring up Ben Brown or Cade Horton or any of those guys. I just think they'll put Drew Smyly in the starting rotation because he's coming out the bullpen right now, which doesn't even really make that much sense. But it's lack of lefties, so they bring him in. And I personally felt like, man, I might as well just keep Adbert in there. I have Adbert go in there another round. Heim, who thought it was a foul ball with the Michael Bush, obviously wild pitch, making it 3-2. It's the only reason we're in extra innings right now. He walks it off. Bases loaded, walk off. I mean, you hate to see it, especially because you had a feeling that was exactly what was going to happen. Whenever I see Drew Smyly go out there, I'm not having a good day. I'll tell you that. And it's no disrespect to Drew. He's had a solid MLB career thus far. But his stint with the Cubs in both go-arounds just hasn't been great. So Hector Neris, I will say, I see some of the comments. Hector Neris pitched insanely well. He was getting lit up in spring training, but he did very well. I believe that was let me make sure. Let me check my notes really quick. I believe that was the 7th inning or the 8th inning that Hector Neris came in. If I'm not mistaken, it's 7 or 8. But with that being said, man, it was the 8th. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was definitely the 8th, and it's Hector looked great. Julian Merriweather looked great. Justin Steele looked phenomenal, as elite as ever. And the fact that we're going to be missing our Mississippi fastball for a while is devastating, but especially this early on in the year. But, as Craig Counsell said, that's baseball. That's the game. So I'm not too upset about it, but, it is what it is at the end of the day. I'm excited, man. We're off today, so we're back on tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know why they had the off day in between. You start opening day and now you're off a day. It's kind of weird, but whatever. But with that being said, man, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're tuning in on TikTok. Give Us a Shot Network on all social media platforms. You can follow me at theshy.kid on Instagram and TikTok, or at the Give Us a Shot Network on all social media platforms. Like I just said, you can find Germ, Michael Powers, Corey Burt, and so many other amazing, talented individuals who make amazing content. You could check them out every single day. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to continue to be great. We're going to continue to make daily episodes covering the Chicago Cubs' entire 162 game season and beyond, because I still believe this is our year, baby. I'm excited about it. We're going to make some waves. We're going to make some noise, and we're going to take back the NL Central. So with that being said, appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is Mike Hughes, aka The Shy Kid, and you are listening to the Give Us a Shot Network. So make sure you give us a shot and hit that follow button, like, subscribe, share out, everything you need to do. With that being said, I appreciate you guys for being here. Until next time, peace.